Mataji, share the screen. Mataji, thank you so much for that. Hare Krishna. Mataji, you can make Shilpa Mataji as host and you can leave Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Mataji. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Baladeva Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jagannatha Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Guru Dev Jaya Jaya Guru Dev Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Can anybody do the chant?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Mataji. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Hare. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Dandatama Mataji.
Krishna. We welcome you, Antaranga Tulsi Mataji, to the ICF forum. Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. And we are going to do the Bhagavatam session today with Antaranga Tulsi Mataji. She is joining the ICF forum for the first time. Let's welcome her with one round of Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you all devotees. Antaranga Mataji. Antaranga Mataji is born and brought up in Mayapur. It is the place where all of us aspire to at least visit once, and she is born and brought up there, although now she is settled in Coimbatore. Welcome to ICF Forum, Mataji. Handing over to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Then a pranam to everyone. Am I clearly audible, Mataji?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Your video is not
Mataji.
on, but your volume is
Video is not there.
audio is there.
What audio is?
Audio is
No?
there, video is not.
Okay.
Okay.
Mataji, you want us to share the screen? One of us will share the screen.
I have the book with me. For everyone, if they need the screen, you can share the screen.
Sure. So Rohini Mataji will share the screen, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. I request all of your blessings so that I can speak properly, glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Krishna, and our Vaishnavacharyas. I was given this class in a very short notice, so I couldn't get time to prepare. So kindly forgive me if I commit any mistakes while I speak. And I sincerely seek the blessings of all of Vaishnavas so that I can speak something which is useful for all of you. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna-Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna-Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitayane Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम नमो भगवते Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirage Nishtaprayeshu Bhutreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloker Bhaktir Naishthagir Madekavandhu Matsangen Madguru Man Mahadana Mannistaraka Madbhagyan Madanandana Mostute Jai. So we are going to read from Canto 3, Chapter 28, text 31 onwards. So I'm sure all of you are attending this class regularly. So now we are in Canto 3. And this section of Canto 3, Chapter 28, can anyone tell me who is speaking these verses? Who is the speaker here?
Kapila Muni.
Kapila Muni. And who is he giving this divine knowledge to?
His mother Devahuti.
Devahuti Mataji.
Mother Devahuti.
Devahuti.
And who is Devahuti? She is the daughter of
Kapila Muni.
Swayambhuva Manu. She is the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu and the wife of Kardama Muni. So this whole third canto predominantly talks about the pastimes of Kardama, Devahuti and Kapila. So in the beginning of third canto, Vidura talks to Maitreya. And Vidura talks to Maitreya and he asks him about, please explain me the lineage of Swayambhuva Manu. And at that time only the story of Devahuti begins. So Swayambhuva Manu, Maitreya Muni says, dear Vidura, Swayambhuva Manu had 5 children. He had 3 daughters and 2 sons. Who are they? Shobha Mataji, you would like to say?
Devahuti, Akuti and Akuti.
Devahuti, Akuti, Prasuti and 2 sons. Who are they?
Priyavrata and Uttanapada. Priyavrata and Uttanapada.
Priyavrata and Uttanapad. So this, so then Vidura requests Maitreya Muni to explain the life of these personalities. So third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto, 3 cantos talk about this one family. So we can understand how glorious is the family of Swayambhuva Manu, that in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3 cantos are dedicated to them. And in this family, the Supreme Lord himself appeared many times. Prithu Maharaj is an empowered incarnation of the Supreme Lord himself. Similarly, there is Rishabhadev. He is an empowered incarnation of the Supreme Lord himself. So like that, Kapila Muni, another incarnation of the Lord. So for this one family, Swayambhuva Manu's family, the Lord has himself come many times. Therefore, Vidura is very interested to know about this transcendental family. And so we are dealing with the first daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, Devahuti. We already saw how she got married to Kardama Muni, how Kardama Muni is a glorious personality, how he got Devahuti as his wife. The Lord himself came and fixed the marriage of Devahuti and Kardama, and he promised Kardama out of his affection. Kardama Muni asked only for a wife, but out of his own affection for his devotee, the Lord promised Kardama that I will come as your own son. And that is how we see Kapila Muni appear. What happens when Kapila Muni appears? Kardama Muni, who is so proper in following the Varnashrama Ashrama, he is a pure devotee. He, even though the Lord is present in his own house, he, as time comes when there is one son to take care of his wife, Kardama Muni leaves the house and goes to perform devotional service in the forest. He takes Vanaprastha ashram and leaves. Devahuti is alone with Kapila Muni. And she, knowing who her son is, Supreme Lord himself, she is begging for transcendental knowledge from Kapila. And Kapila's incarnation had a specific purpose. What was that purpose? To give the Sankhya Yoga philosophy to the entire world. And his first student to whom he teaches Sankhya philosophy is his own mother, Devahuti. And even today, Sri Kapila Muni is present in a place known as Ganga Sagar, which is now present in Calcutta. There is a place Ganga Sagar where Ganga Devi meets the ocean, and she, she merges with the ocean, and then she goes to the Patal Loka. So over there, even today, Kapila Muni's ashram is there, and he is present doing meditation even today. So Kapila Muni, he brought the Sankhya philosophy. You have discussed the Sankhya philosophy, which is very technical philosophy. It discusses about how the material principles work, how this whole universe is from the 24 elements, how this universe is constructed. And by knowing the principles behind the construction of this universe, by knowing the principles of how our body is constituted, that gives us the answer to how to go back home, back to Godhead. So that is what the Sankhya Yoga teaches us about. And today we are in this particular section of chapter 28, where Kapila Muni, after explaining about the material nature, the three modes, the 24 elements of creation, he is now coming and talking to, he's explaining Devahuti about a yogi, a Sankhya yogi. How does he meditate on the Supreme Lord's form within his heart? After performing different yogic steps, finally the yogi gets to see the darshan of Krishna, of Vishnu within his heart. And how is that form of Vishnu? What kind of form should he meditate upon? That is being explained by Kapila Muni in this section. And that is Kapila's instructions on devotional service. So, beginning from text 21. So in text 20, Kapila Muni says, fixing his mind on the eternal form of the Lord, the yogi should not take a collective view of all his limb, but should fix the mind on each individual limb of the Lord. So now the Bhakti Yogi, he is fixing his mind on each and every limb of the Lord. And Kapila Muni, from text 21 onwards, he is describing each and every limb of the transcendental form of the Lord. This section is one of the most beautiful sections. In fact, the section that I would recommend everyone to please memorize each verse and the translation, so that you can, when you go in front of the deities, when we go in front of the Lord in the temple, we can meditate upon these verses. Because when we take darshan of
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Mataji. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Sorry to disturb you, Mataji. It's 31 to 35.
yes, I'm coming to 31.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So in this section, when we go and take darshan of the deities, we see the Lord's transcendental form. We see many different things. We see his lotus feet, the garlands he's wearing. We sometimes our mind may get distracted. So at that time, these verses, they help us to meditate. Each limb of the Lord has the power to give us certain benedictions, and that is being explained here. So from the lotus feet, the darshan begins. Kapila Muni explaining from the lotus feet. And today in text 31, we are meditating on the glance of the Lord. He has come explaining the face, the thighs, the hips of the Lord, the navel of the Lord, the chest of the Lord. What kind of pearls he wears is also explained. If you all remember, he says that the pure devotees, the Lord wears a necklace, and that necklace is all his pure devotees. Like this, such beautiful descriptions you have all come across. And now in text 31 onwards, we are going to talk about the face of the Lord. So let's start reading text 31. Mataji, how is the system here? After I recite the verse, will all of you repeat?
So, Mataji, what we do is the hands are raised. So I'll call out the names for one person to recite the shloka, one for translation. Purport, if you want, we can read. Otherwise, we can skip the purport, since sometimes the purports are long and it takes a lot of time. So, but as per you, if we want, we can read the purport. I'll call out the names.
Okay, please start reading verse. We'll read the purport.
Verse and translation.
Okay, you can read the verse and translation. In case there are some important points from purport, I will speak on that.
Sure, Mataji. Very good. Hare Krishna. So, Vasudha Mataji, you do the shloka number 31. And Anusuya Mataji do the translation. Mataji, we want to first finish reading all the shloka and translation and then explanation, or we stop after every?
We'll stop after every verse.
Hari Bol. Yes, Vasudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
तस्यावलोकम् अधिकं कृपयाति घोरा तापत्रयोपशमनाय निसृतम् अक्ष्णोः स्निग्धास्मितानुगुणितं विपुलप्रसादं ध्यायेच्चिरं विपुलभावनया गुहायाम्. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The yogis should contemplate with full devotion the compassionate glances frequently cast by Lord's eyes, for they soothe the most fearful threefold agonies of his devotees. His glances, accompanied by loving smiles, are full of abundant grace. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So we are talking about the glance of the Supreme Lord. So what is the power the glance of the Lord's hold? If his glances fall upon us, they will soothe the three fearful agonies. What are the three kleshas, agonies? So these miseries which we face, they will be soothed by the glance of the Lord. So Prabhupada says that in this material world, everyone is going through these miseries. Whether in the material world, when do we feel happiness? The only time we feel happiness is when there is no distress. So what we don't even know the taste of real happiness. According to us, what is happiness is actually when there is no misery, when there is no so-called trouble in our life, when there is peace, that is what we call happiness. But that is not happiness. Happiness actually there's something else called happiness, the opposite side of distress. We are just thinking the neutral level where there is no distress, okay, everything is going fine. That small gap between one distress to another distress, one trouble to another trouble, one anxiety to another anxiety, that mid gap we think is great happiness. We take great pleasure in that. But actually, when do we get the real pleasure? When these troubles are completely removed, then we get the glance of the Lord and we engage in his devotional service. That is the time when one can get real happiness. The Lord bestows innumerable favors upon his devotee, and the greatest manifestation of his grace is his smiling face, which is full of compassion for his devotees. The smiling and loving glance of the Lord is one of the greatest bestow mercy he can give. The devotees, they do not want anything from the Lord. They do not want money, they do not want wealth, beauty, or even they do not want entrance into the spiritual world also. All they want is service opportunity to the Lord. They want to perform service. And when devotees perform service and the Lord is pleased with their service and he mercifully, happily with a smile, he glances on them, that is the greatest happiness a devotee can ever get. A pure devotee always desires for that. Only pleasing the Lord. That is what Srila Rupa Goswami says, Anukulyana Krishnanushilanam. We have to work to pleasing the Lord in the way we have to perform service to the Lord in a way the Lord will be pleased and he will bestow upon us his loving sidelong glances. Lord Shiva, he has written an ashtakam called, not an ashtakam, written stotram called Sri Radhika Kripa Kataksha Stotram, in which he is praying to Srimati Radharani to get her sidelong compassionate glance. This glance of the Lord and his energy are so potent. We can go to the next verse.
Hare Krishna. Shanti Mataji, please recite the shloka and Sudha Mataji translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hasam Hare Avanata Kila Loka Divra Shobhashrusakhara Vishoshana Madhyudharam Sammohanaya Rachitam Nijamaya Yasya Bhrumandalam Munikrite Magaradhvajasya.
Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A yogi should similarly meditate on the most benevolent smile of Lord Sri Hari, a smile which for all those who bow to him dries away the ocean of tears caused by intense grief. The yogi should also meditate on the Lord's arched eyebrows, which are manifested by his internal potency in order to charm the sex god for the good of the sages. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So this verse deals with the beautiful smile of the Lord, the benevolent smile, and the beautiful arched eyebrows of the Lord. The beauty of the Lord's eyebrows are described over here. So what can the smile do? the smile can dry away the ocean of tears caused by intense grief. So Prabhupada in purports, he says that in this material world, everyone is going through so much grief that they're always shedding tears, and a big ocean has been formed. But one who surrenders to the Lord, that ocean of tears, the samsara sagara, can at once be dried, and one can attain the Lord's shelter. This is by seeing the charming smile of the Lord. And look at the glory of his eyebrow. The Lord's arched eyebrows, they can subdue the charm of the bow of the sex god of Kamadev, Makara Dhwaja. He always carries a bow in his hand, a bow and arrow, and he throws arrows of lust on the people and induces the lust in the heart of the material conditioned souls. So the Lord's eyebrows, they are much more beautiful than the bow of Kamadev. They can even capture Cupid. Therefore, Lord is called Madana Mohana Mohana. He's called Madan Mohan, and Srimati Radharani is called Madan Mohana Mohini. So Krishna is called Madan Mohan, means he who can even captivate Cupid himself. And Srimati Radharani is Madan Mohana Mohini, she who can captivate the person who captivates Cupid. So therefore, the Lord's eyebrows. So the sages and the devotees who take shelter of the Lord's eyebrows, they pray that may we be attracted to these eyebrows. The Lord's eyebrows is so attractive that it can completely uproot the desire of sex in the heart of the devotees. So Srila Prabhupada, he gives the example of Yamunacharya in his purport. He says, Yamunacharya, a great Acharya in our Sampradaya, he tells that ever since he had seen the charming pastimes of the Lord, the charms of sex life had become abominable for him, and the mere thought of sex enjoyment would cause him to spit and turn his face. That is the power of the Lord. The Lord's beautiful eyebrows, the Lord's beautiful charming pastimes. Once we get that transcendental, the higher taste, then this is the reaction we will have for material mundane enjoyment. We will be caused to spit and turn our face away from the material enjoyment. That is what it says, that when one develops devotion, the first sign is there is virakti ranyatra. There is frustration and there's detachment from the material world. That is a symptom of devotional service. Thus, if anyone wants to be aloof from sense attraction, he must see the charming smile and fascinating eyebrows of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the conclusion by Prabhupada. We'll proceed to text 33.
Hare Krishna. Divya Gopu Mataji, you can recite the shloka, and Dr. Karpagalavali Mataji, you do the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you Mataji. Pranams Mataji. ध्यानायनं प्रहसितं बहुलादरोष्टा वासारुणायिततनु द्विजकुण्डपङ्क्ति ध्यायेत् स्वदेहकुहरे वशितस्य विष्णोर्भक्त्यार्द्रयार्पितमना न पृथक् त्रित्रिक्षेत्. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Doctor, you're reciting? Dr. Karpagalavali?
Yes, Mataji. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. With devotion steeped in love and affection, yogi should meditate within the core of his heart upon the laughter of Lord Vishnu. The laughter of Vishnu is so captivating that it can be easily meditated upon. When the Supreme Lord is laughing, one can see his small teeth, which resemble jasmine buds, rendered rosy by the splendor of his lips. Once devoting his mind to this, the yogi should no longer desire to see anything else. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
This is a very, very, very sweet. The whole section is very sweet. This is indeed one of the sweetest verses of the section. So this describes the laughter of Vishnu. The Srila Prabhupada's purport is so amazing in this section. The moment there is this when Kapila is describing the laughter of the Lord, and he is describing with such a great detailing that when the Lord laughs, one can see his small teeth, and the teeth are very beautifully arranged, very small and very beautiful, and they are as white as jasmine buds. We have all seen, we have all seen how a jasmine bud looks like. We know it. So jasmine buds are there, and the Lord's lips are so rosy. They are so reddish, but so therefore these jasmine buds, they look to be tinged with red, and they appear reddish. So that much luster is there in the lips of the Lord. It is reflecting on the teeth, and that is how beautiful is the lips. When the Lord laughs, his teeth is revealed, and the teeth becomes reddish. Such a wonderful detailing is mentioned, and such a captivating laugh of the Lord, that if the devotee is able to place this laughing in his heart, the beauty of the Lord within himself, then material attraction will no longer disturb him. And Prabhupada in the purport, he says, so the Lord is laughing, and there's such a deep description given. This itself proves that the Lord cannot be impersonal. Prabhupada takes the chance to attack the impersonal. He says that they say the Lord is light, he doesn't have any activity. Maybe we should go and merge in the impersonal light, and there we cease from all material activities. They don't have the concept of spiritual activities. We just reside there and know what that is their philosophy. But Srila Prabhupada says, just look, the Lord smiles so beautifully. This indicates that he has a face, he can laugh, he has lips, he has teeth. All these very wonderfully indicate that God is not impersonal. The Lord is completely personal, and the Lord laughs means what? That means we can make him laugh. We can take pleasure of his laughter. So which means we can have personal relation with the Lord. We can have a reciprocal feeling with the Lord. It is not that God is a great person. Of course, he is a great person, but awe and reverence, and we just have to, stay away from him, maintain a distance with him. No, the Lord gives us a chance. The Lord is so compassionate. He gives us, the devotees, a chance to come close to him, to associate with him, to render service unto him. And the Lord doesn't just accept service. He's such a lovable personality that he reciprocates with the devotee by his smile, by his glance, by his laugh, sometimes even by serving his devotees. We have seen so many examples of how the Lord himself is serving the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So that is the glories of the. So therefore, a devotee should meditate upon this laugh of the Lord. There is no other activity that can completely cleanse the heart of the devotee than meditating on the Supreme Person of Godhead. This is what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. This Harinam Sankirtan is the way by which, how do we meditate on the Lord's form? We cannot directly meditate on the Lord's form or pastime. Our only entrance is through the holy name. When we chant the holy name, then that will, the holy name has the strength to reveal to us the Lord's form, the Lord's pastimes, the Lord's activities, and everything the holy name will reveal. And what does the holy name perform? The holy name can completely cleanse the heart of the devotee. Then we will get a chance to meditate upon the smile and the laughter of the Lord. We can continue.
Hare Krishna. Chandana Mataji, you can recite the shloka, and Suma Mataji translation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Pranams, Mataji. Evam harau bhagavati pratilabdha bhavo bhaktya dravadhrudaya utpullaka pramodat outkanthya paspa kalaya muhuradhyamanas tachapi chitta varisham shanakair viyunkte. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. All glory. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. By following this course, the yogi gradually develops pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. In the course of his progress in devotional service, the hairs on his body stand erect through excessive joy, and he is constantly bathed in a stream of tears occasioned by intense love. Gradually, even the mind which he used as a means to attract the Lord as one attracts a fish to a hook, withdraws from material activity. Correct. Thank you.
It'll be nice if somebody can read this purport. Maybe two devotees can read half. It's a very, very important purport.
Anita Mataji, you read the first paragraph. And if anybody is Ramakrishna Prabhu, are you there? Okay, Anita Mataji, you read the first part, and Shobha Mataji can read the second part.
Hare Krishna. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Here it is clearly mentioned that meditation, which is an action of the mind, is not the perfect stage of samadhi or absorption. In the beginning, the mind is employed in attracting the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but in the higher stages, there is no question of using the mind. A devotee becomes accustomed to serving the Supreme Lord by purification of his senses. In other words, the yoga principles of meditation are required as long as one is not situated in pure devotional service. The mind is used to purify the senses, but when the senses are purified by meditation, there is no need to sit in a particular place and try to meditate upon the form of the Lord. One becomes so habituated that he automatically engages in the personal service of the Lord. When the mind forcibly is engaged upon the form of the Lord, this is called Nirbhija Yoga or lifeless yoga. For the yogi does not automatically engage in the personal service of the Lord. But when he is constantly thinking of the Lord, that is called Sabija Yoga or living yoga. One has to be promoted to the platform of living yoga. Hare Krishna.
So finally,
should I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, well, just give
Shobha
us.
Mataji will read. Hare Krishna.
Okay, fine.
Shobha Mataji, you can read further.
I'll give
Hare
a small.
Krishna,
We can go to the next para.
Okay, Mataji, Hari Bol.
So in this verse, finally the yogi, after meditating on all these forms of the Lord, on all the limbs separately, then he develops pure love for Godhead. And then what do we see in the translation? The Ashtasattvic Vikar, the symptoms of prema and bhava, which we find explained in Mahaprabhu's pastime. They start being experienced by the devotee. His hairs on this body stand on the end, and then tears of love starts flowing, and the mind is completely removed from material activity. What are the activities of the mind? You have already read this in the previous.
Thinking, feeling, and willing.
Thinking, feeling, and
willing.
Okay. There's Kapila Muni explains one more thing about the mind. Thinking, feeling, and willing, and
Mataji, it goes beyond sense enjoyment. Mataji, is that?
accepting.
Attachment, Mataji. Desires and attachment.
Accepting and rejecting. That is also the duty of the mind. That is the main performance of the mind. It accepts and rejects. That is what the mind performs. So the senses, we know from Srimad Bhagavad Gita that when we are in the mental condition, what happens? The senses are controlling the mind. So what the senses want to enjoy, the mind will accept. What the senses doesn't want to enjoy, the mind will reject. But what is the proper order? The proper order is intelligence should control the mind and the mind should control the senses. So in this yoga described by Kapila Muni, Bhakti Yoga, the senses are engaged in Krishna's service and the mind is engaged in meditating on the form of the Lord. So when the mind is completely absorbed in the Lord's form and Lord's service, then naturally the mind takes control over the senses and ensure that the senses are performing service to the Lord. And at this point, the mind is completely, the yogi's mind is completely merged into the consciousness of the Lord. Which means what? We are not like impersonalists, we merge ourselves with the Lord. Rather, there is a transcendental oneness. Which means the devotee's mind, the devotee's consciousness is in alignment with the Lord's desire. That is called transcendental oneness. That is what we accept in Achintya Bheda Abheda. We are one with the Lord in the sense that our consciousness is completely aligned in the desire and service of the Lord. So when that situation happens, then the mind withdraws from material activity. The mind gives up its material attachment. It gives up accepting and rejecting material things. The mind is tuned. The default mode of the mind comes back. The mind is auto-tuned to accept only that which is favorable for Krishna consciousness and reject that which is not favorable for Krishna consciousness. So this is called Sabija Yoga. This is what we are performing, Bhakti Yoga, in which it is not, there is no life. We are filled with, what is our movement called Krishna consciousness. There is full consciousness. We are fully actively engaging all our senses, our mind, this body itself, which is material. Matter is lifeless until there is soul in it. So this lifeless matter we are using in Krishna consciousness. We make sure that Krishna's consciousness, the soul, is reinstated in its constitutional position as the servant of the Lord. The soul takes charge of the body, not that the body is in charge of the soul. And therefore, all the senses are in use of in Krishna's service. The mind in the yogi situation is now when he is chanting, his mind will not wander. The mind will automatically chant. That is the state of the yogi now in this verse. So this is the state that we all have to come to, where our mind is automatically going and taking shelter of the Lord. So when the mind is fixed in the Lord's service, when the mind is fixed in the Lord's lotus feet, then there is no concept of distraction. We'll always be Krishna conscious, 24-hour Krishna conscious, always thinking of the Lord, always thinking of serving the Lord, using the senses in the Lord's activities. That situation will come. So that is called Sabija Yoga. So please continue.
We'll read the second paragraph, Mataji. Shobha Mataji can read.
A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai, Dandavat Pranam Mataji. One should engage in the service of the Lord 24 hours a day, as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. The stage of Prema Jana Churita can be attained by developing complete love. When one's love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is developed, service is fully developed. One always sees the Lord even without artificially meditating on his form. His vision is divine because he has no other engagements. At this stage of spiritual realization, it is not necessary to engage the mind artificially. Since the meditation recommended in the lower stages is a means to come to the platform of devotional service, those already engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord or above such meditation. This stage of perfection is called Krishna consciousness. Haribol, thank you, Mataji. Dandavat.
Beautiful sentence. This stage of perfection is called Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada has come to give us the stage of perfection. That which Kapila discussed after the yogi has to perform so many activities to reach this stage. That stage Srila Prabhupada has come to directly give us through his purports. Explaining everything and making Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada have made the process so easy for us. The stage of perfection that a yogi attains after practice for so long, that stage is given to us, easily attainable to us, just by accepting to chant the holy names without offenses and attentively. That one activity, it holds the power to give us the stage of perfection, being completely Krishna conscious. We can proceed to text 35.
Hare Krishna. Ansuya Mataji, you recite the shloka, and now Kishori Mataji, the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranam. Mukta Shayam Yahi Nirvishayam Viraktam Nirvanam Richati Manasa Sahasa Yatarchihi Atmanam Yatra Purusho Vyavadhanamekam Anvikshate Pratinivritta Guna Pravaha. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When the mind is thus completely freed from all material contamination and detached from material objectives, it is just like the flame of a lamp. At that time, the mind is actually dovetailed with that of the Supreme Lord and is experienced as one with Him. because it is freed from the interactive flow of the material qualities. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So in this purport, Prabhupada begins with saying the same point of how mind's activity is accepting and rejecting. And therefore, we forcefully train our mind in the service of the Lord. So that is what we are doing in our sadhana bhakti. In our process of devotion now, what are we doing is we are forcibly putting our mind and senses in serving Krishna. By performing it constantly, one becomes completely free from material contamination. That is, all the anarthas are going away, and one becomes detached from material objectives. One's life's objectives and goals change from material to spiritual. And at that time, we no longer need to forcibly put the mind in meditation. Then the mind automatically becomes absorbed in the thought of the Lord. Therefore, the yogi has no other thought of than serving the Lord. So this is called the transcendental oneness. This is what is called nirvana, or making the mind one with the Lord. This is the true meaning of oneness. So Prabhupada gives a beautiful example. He says the best example nirvana is Arjuna. Arjuna's mind in the beginning was not in alignment with the Lord's desire. Lord's desire was Arjuna has to fight. But Arjuna's mind was not in alignment with the Lord. It had in Kapila Siksha, previously you have heard the word Pritak Bhava. Pritak Bhava. Have you heard this word in Kapila Siksha before? This Pritak Bhava or Bhinna Drik. Two words are used in the previous chapters. Pritak Bhava and Bhinna Drik means we are having a separate vision. The vision of a separatist. This you would have seen in Prabhupada's purport. It's a very key point. It means our vision is different from the vision of our Acharya's vision of the Supreme Lord. That is Bhinna Drik. And Pritak Bhava is having a different consciousness. So, this is the key to our entry into material world and the key to us being going around in this material world. We are having a vision separate from the Lord. So, when Arjuna was in that kind of situation, he had a separatist mentality of I want to do this. This is not right according to me. But after getting the transcendental knowledge from Krishna, then Arjuna he comes back to his constitutional position and he accepts to fight. So therefore, then he dovetails his mind with Krishna's desire, and this is called the oneness. Oneness, Prabhupada, he attacks the Mayavadi. He says this oneness did not cause Arjuna and Krishna to lose their individuality. After that, throughout the Kurukshetra war, we saw Krishna was separately driving the chariot, Arjuna was behind and fighting. But still, these two personalities were one. Why? Their desires were one. Their consciousness were one. Arjuna was doing that which Krishna is seeking in his mind. So that is what we call transcendental oneness. And that is the oneness that devotees accept. We do not want to lose individuality, because if we lose individuality, we cannot serve the Lord. There is no master and servant. There is no predominator and predominated. That is where the rasa, the transcendental loving mellows, they come only when there is two personalities. So therefore, devotees, we do not accept this philosophy of losing individuality and becoming one. And that is not possible also. All these souls are individual souls. We can never become one with the Lord. We are individuals and we are eternally individuals. The last para, can someone read of the purport? It explains the analogy of the flame given in the translation.
I will read. The last para only, right, Mataji?
Yes.
Yatharchit. Archi means flame. When a lamp is broken or the oil is finished, we see that the flame of the lamp goes out. But according to scientific understanding, the flame is not extinguished, it is conserved. This is conservation of energy. Similarly, when the mind stops functioning on the material platform, it is conserved in the activities of the Supreme Lord. The Mayavadi philosopher's conception of cessation of the functions of the mind is explained here. Cessation of the mental functions means cessation of activities conducted under the influence of the three modes of material nature. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
So is the analogy of the flame clear to everyone? It cannot be better explained than Srila Prabhupada. So this is, so the main point is it is like a flame, which means the flame is extinguished doesn't mean that the flame is gone. It is still, the conservation of energy is still present. Similarly, when the mind, here we saw that the mind withdraws from material activities. So the withdrawal of mind from material activity doesn't mean that is all done, but actually, like the Mayavadi's thing, cessation of material activity is the ultimate. No, the behind the story is one should after withdrawing from material activity, one's mind and activity should be focused on spiritual activity. We are withdrawing from the influence of three modes, but we are still going into the influence of Yoga Maya, of the internal potency of the Lord, and we continue our spiritual activities. So that was the significance of the flame of lamp in the text. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak on this wonderful section of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapila Siksha. And if you have any questions or comments, please enlighten me.
Thank you very much, Mataji. It was such a nectarian class today because of the verses, that the way they are written, how we can meditate upon the Lord. We'll take questions, Mataji. Anita Mataji, you can ask your question, and then Suma Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Antaranga Tulasi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nice to have your association once again, Mataji. Mataji, this in last shloka you were saying about something like pravriti, nivriti, or something you were saying, right? So I was inattentive at that time, so I don't know what you said. Can you just come again, Mataji, with that?
I said pratak bhava and bhinna drik.
Okay. Okay, so what is that, Mataji? Pratak bhava and
Bhinna drik means, if you check in Canto 3, if you just put a search in Vedas, you'll find this bhinna drik repeatedly mentioned by Kapila Muni. It is separatist vision.
Okay, okay. Separate
When you
vision.
have a vision or a desire not aligned with the Lord, that is the cause of our suffering in this material world.
Okay. And the other one, Mataji?
Pratak bhava. It has a similar meaning only. Prathak means a different, a separate one. Pratak bhava. You are considering yourself as the enjoyer, whereas the Lord is the real enjoyer.
Okay, okay, Mataji. Okay, Mataji, thank you so much. Being busy with a small kid, you still made your time to come on the call and give the class. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Suma Mataji, you can ask your question.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. And Mataji, and thank you for giving your association, Mataji. First of all, I am so inspired to see you, because when Mataji said that you have a small child, that 4 months old child. I'm a devotee, practicing devotee, wherein I always find for the excuses wherein I can escape from doing this and this. A lot of complaining that I don't have this time. I have so much of troubles in my bhakti. So just seeing you, Mataji, and I have got the inspiration, Mataji, and thank you so much for that. Hare Krishna. Mataji, I just wanted to know, Mataji, like wherein you said that, Mataji, that's Abhija Yoga. I just wanted to know the stages of and Nirvana also you said, Mataji. This is for a yogi. Not only for the Bhakti yogi, no, Mataji. Like in Bhakti Yoga, we are having the different steps like Bhava, Prema. The ultimate is Prema. So how can we correlate these two, Mataji? When Hare Krishna.
Actually,
Hope you got my question.
The stage of nirvana. What is the stage of nirvana? Nirvana is a term used by the Ashtanga yogis mostly. So what is the stage of nirvana according to them? It is a stage when they are liberated, or that means that they have stopped their material activities. So that is the stage of nirvana. But for devotees, that is the beginning stage actually. What is our beginning stage? When we realize, what is the first thing we hear when we come to ISKCON? You are not this body, you are this soul. So that itself is the stage of nirvana. When we realize that we are not this body, we are the soul, and we start acting in that platform of the soul, that is the stage of nirvana. That is the Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nashochati Nakankshati. That is the stage where yogi comes. That is the highest stage of Ashtanga yogi, nirvana. Whereas devotion, bhakti yoga begins only there. So in Ashtanga yogis, they do not have any term which can equate to prema or bhava because they don't have that concept only with them. Their concept ends in uh, in withdrawing from realizing that they are the soul and not this body, and stopping the activities of the body and just leaving out of the material world. They do not have the idea of leaving out of the material world and entering the spiritual abode. That is what we are benedicted with. The devotees have the good fortune of entering into the spiritual abode. Whereas the yogis, they only have this knowledge of leaving this material world. They think that is liberation. But what is actual liberation is when you are reinstated in your constitutional position. So yogis, they just know that they are the soul. They always talk about Atma, 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 Chidananda, Brahmananda. They only talk about that. They only understand in realizing the soul as Sachidananda. But after that, we have to realize that we are Krishna Nitya Das. So that is the stage of devotees. That is what is called Bhava and Prema. When we realize not only that we are not this body, we are the soul. When we realize that the soul is an eternal servant of Krishna, and we start engaging in loving devotional service of Krishna, that is the highest stage of Bhava and Prema. That has no equivalent in yogic system.
So Mataji, this Sabija yoga is not for the bhakti yogis, no Mataji? Like
Sabija yoga is for bhakti yogis. Nirbija yoga is what the other Mayavadis and Ashtanga yogis are performing. Sabija
Mataji,
yoga
like
is Prabhupada
I
saying
just
is
want
like living yoga where you are engaging your senses in bhakti. That is available only to a few yogis, the fortunate yogis, who after performing so many yogic process, they finally realize Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudarlabha. There are many yogis, yoginam api sarvesham madgate antaratmana. Yogis perform Ashtanga yoga, but only few of those yogis after performing Ashtanga yoga, they are fortunate. They may have come in association with some devotees, or like they would have come across scriptural statements where the Lord mercifully explains to them that after attaining nirvana state, you have to establish a loving relation with the Lord. So then Yogina Sarvesham, only Madgate Antaratmana. Krishna says only some realize that one has to attain loving shelter of the Lord. They realize the Lord within their heart. So that is only a few. And fortunately, by Prabhupada's mercy, we are directly getting that Bhakti Yoga.
yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Pranams.
Hare Krishna. Do we have any
Hare
more
Krishna.
questions?
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna. Yeah, this is Narayani Kripamai Mataji. I'm the culprit who called you in such a short time. I'm so sorry, Mataji. But really, it was a wonderful class. I've told Mataji, Shilpa Mataji and Suma Mataji that I will not able to join. But I joined and I couldn't, end the meeting. I'm keep on listening. So thank you so much, Mataji. Hari bol.
Hari bol.
Thank you so much
Mataji,
for
your
the-
video is not on, just in case.
Yeah, I am going to
No, not
switch it
your
on.
video. Antaranga Mataji's
Yeah,
video is.
Antaranga Mataji, yeah. It's
Yes,
okay. I
Mataji.
think Mataji is busy. No, no
Maybe,
problem. No
maybe.
problem.
No
It's
problem. No
okay.
problem.
It's fine, Mataji.
Yeah.
And
Narayani
for
Mataji, you are going to show us the GV darshan?
yeah, that's what I'm here only.
Okay.
So first, I'll switch on my camera. Yeah. Okay.
Hari bol, Hari bol. I'll pin
Now,
Mataji.
can you see? Is it visible?
Yes, Mataji. Just a minute.
Yeah.
I'll just
So
pin
Srila
you.
Prabhupada over here, and then I'll just tell you this is Govardhan Eco Village, and
Mataji, it
right
is a
now
little
I'm
hazy.
here.
Now
Is
it
it
is clear.
okay? Wait a minute.
It's blurred,
Mataji, I
Mataji.
think your
Mataji,
background is
please
blurred,
spotlight her,
Mataji.
na?
Background,
Your
yeah,
background
yeah.
is blurred, no, Mataji? That's
Yeah.
it.
Now it's okay.
Yes,
Now
Mataji.
it's fine.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes,
Perfect.
Mataji.
Hari
Yes,
bol.
Mataji.
Hari
So
bol.
Thank you so much,
this is
Mataji.
Thank
this is
you, Mataji.
Radha Vrindavan Bihari and Gauranga Prabhu.
Mataji, little on your right. Little more.
Spotlight her, no? Because we are able to see
That's
other
what I
Yeah,
have
persons.
so that
done, but I have
everyone
not.
can
I
see.
have
Yeah.
Yes,
spotlighted her
yeah,
only.
yeah. Post should spotlight Narayani Mataji.
I have done that
Yes,
already,
Mataji.
Mataji. I have done that.
Beautiful.
So
This Mataji.
beautiful deities as usual. Can you all see it? Is it
Yes,
okay?
Mataji.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
You
Okay.
need to turn
Okay.
the camera a little on the right. I mean, shift it on the
Right?
right.
It's
Yes.
okay?
Still more.
No, still more, still little more.
Yes,
Yeah,
still
now
more.
perfect, Mataji.
Little
Yeah.
bit more. Yes,
It's
perfect.
raining heavily
No,
here, so I don't know.
we
Like,
can see. I can see only Rohini Mataji.
Mataji, I have pinned Narayani Mataji already. You will have to also do the same for yours.
yeah.
Mataji, which
Haribol.
place?
This is
Little bit right, Mataji.
Govardhan.
Yes, Mataji.
Govardhan Eco Village.
Mataji is at Govardhan Eco Village, which is near Mumbai at Palghar. It is a small village kind of a thing that they have
Yeah, Palghar
created.
district, Vada,
Yeah.
Vada city. Yeah.
Vada city, and this is done by the ISKCON Chowpatty by Radhanath Swami Maharaj.
Okay.
Hari bol, Hari bol.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to Mataji. Hare Krishna to Shilpa Mataji and Suma Mataji for managing. Hari Bol. So, shall we end the session, Mataji?
Hari bol. Mataji, I think is there. Mataji, you are there, Anand?
I think Mataji has logged out.
Left. Yeah, I think she has left.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask Mataji to narrate her experience of being born and brought up in Mayapur. I mean, how was it to live in Mayapur? I was going to ask her, but nonetheless, she's left, I think.
Yeah, so next time we will call her Mataji. We'll call her once again.
Yes, Mataji.
And definitely we will ask this.
Yes.
So,
Mataji.
shall we end the session?
Yes, Mataji, I'll end this
Yeah,
session.
yeah.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna to all devotees. Vancha
Vancha
kalpatarubhyascha
kalpatarubhyascha
kripa
kripa
sindhubhyo
sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo namo
namo
ananta
Ananta
koti
Koti
vaishnava
Vaishnava
Srila
Srila
Prabhupada
Prabhupada
ki
ki
jai.
jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari
Hari bol
Hare
to
Krishna,
Narayani
Hare Krishna to
Mataji.
everyone.
Hari bol
Yeah,
to
Hari Bol,
Narayani
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna to all devotees.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Pranams.
I will end the meeting.